Go to getamazonnow.com and give a gift card.
Welcome to humanity. This is our one.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Yo, hi, this is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to Fight Net Radio.
Me, Harvey Oswald, what's your name? I know how am I supposed to know you?
This is Frank Shamrock. You're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Nia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
This is Chuck Jackson the Dell.
I am Stephen Bonner, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Dan Henderson, you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee's burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes. All the truth for whatever it takes. This is how we show it. Whatever it takes. 'Cause we ain't got nothing to whatever it takes.
I am the king of the world. Hold it. Hold it. You're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. I took up the world.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Andrew.
Hey, Happy New Year's to you too, Lee.
Are you sobering up as we speak?
Yes, sir.
So, as for those of you who don't know, it's actually December 8th.
Why do you keep telling them?
I know, right? Like we could fake them out and go. I debated going to New Year's today. Okay, like the joke's already over. But what do you do for New Year's when you have kids, Andrew? People don't know this. So let's tell people
A lot of
about
family parties, Lee. A lot.
Yeah, you go to the family parties. The kids stay up exactly till 12:01. Then you put them to
Yeah,
bed.
you shove them all in one room. All kids go in one room by age groups. If you got teenagers, you put them in their own separate room. But screw that. You guys stay in here. Don't fucking come out. That's it.
Oh, that's the best. We're here to talk about the best of 20. Last week, if you didn't listen, we did the worst of 2016. Thanks to Oscar De La Hoya and another magazine. Andrew and I talked about the worst of 2016. Thanks to the BBC for supplying us with literally the worst boxing year. I explained why that happened. Single-handedly, they made it the worst. I think it's still funny that Oscar De La Hoya, who is arguably the most insane man in boxing, like he's the new Don King.
Yeah, I was going to say that. The new drunk Bob Arum. Remember when Bob used to be all red-faced?
Oh, no, I agree. But now Oscar has taken on that role of saying all the crazies. He is the Dana White of boxing. Oscar's job is to say crazy crap for all of us. We're here to talk about the best of 2016 and who is the best of 2016. There are really 10 fighters to have the discussion about, and that's it. I mean, there are really 10 standouts from the entire year.
Are they all on HBO? Can I ask that?
Let me look at the list. And I'm only going off of, it's hard to say. I'm looking at different pound for pound lists.
Okay.
There is no real consensus on the pound for pound.
I know, it's stupid.
list.
I know.
It is. But we can make an argument. That's what I'm going to say. These 10 fighters all need to be discussed. All right. And no, they're not on all on HBO. And I'll start at a guy who's hovering right around the bottom, but we should have a discussion. I think Keith Thurman needs to have a discussion. I think he had a great year. I think Keith Thurman is in a position. He's handled himself correctly. He's the only standout fighter from the PBC. I'm pro Keith Thurman. I got no issues with him. I think he's handled himself correctly. I think he stood out in all of his fights. I think he's poised. Let's let him have a piece of meat and see what happens with Keith Thurman in 2017. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm not mad with Keith Thurman being on the list. He's undefeated. He's been on the outside waiting for his shot. He has a person like Danny Garcia that refuses to fight anybody. So we're finally glad this fight has gotten made, even though it should have been made probably a year ago. Defeated Sean Porter. That was an undefeated champion. He didn't have a lot of top name fighters under his resume, but he was still undefeated, and he was an IBF champ, and Porter beat him. So
he is definitely my honorable mention for this year. He deserves it. I think Thurman.
You know what? Porter had already lost to Kell Brook, but whatever the case, Lee, that was a huge name. That was a top 5 opponent for Keith Thurman. He's beaten Robert Guerrero. That was another big name in the welterweight division. So yeah, you add Danny Garcia to this list that he's been making in the last year or so, Keith Thurman's going to be on the pound for pound rankings here for a while.
Yep. All right, let's talk about the bottom of the list. This is the current pound for pound list, and really it's based on what people did in 2016. All of these guys need to have a discussion. I don't know how this guy made the list, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it's arguable. Why is Carl Frampton talked about so much in 2016, Andrew?
Oh, because he has the 2 good fights, Leo Santa Cruz and the Scott Quigg. That Scott Quigg fight was a huge one in the UK. They sold out the arena. It was an excellent fight, guys going back and forth. And actually, Frampton has the fight with the Mexican kid. Man, his name is leaving. The young man just died in Mexico, Lee. They had an excellent fight. I think Frampton goes down twice in the first round, comes back to stop him. Why is the name slipping me, damn it? Alejandro something Jr. Oh, I can't believe this is losing the name like that. But yeah, Frampton has had about 3 good fights in a row. He's an action fighter. He's not scared to trade. He's not scared to fight anybody. So he's definitely on that list. Have you found the name?
No.
Come on, Lee. I'm over here trying to stretch it out, hoping you're going to give me that damn name.
Who did he fight? Say
Carl Frampton fought Alejandro something.
Okay, hold on.
It was only like 2 fights ago.
Okay, Alejandro Gonzalez Jr.
Yes, Gonzalez. Yes, he was just executed in Mexico this last week.
Wow, that's a bad 16.
Stop it. Look at you. Him and his grandfather were both executed in Mexico this last week. Very sad.
Why?
They don't know yet. Lee, there's a war going on in that country, a drug war. I don't know if the kid had anything to do with it.
I think the drugs won. Why can't we just let it be?
Well, because there's a lot of innocent people that have been killed over the drugs, so they don't want to legalize it and shame the people that have lost their lives trying to fight for this. Also, I don't know if you want a drug-riddled country. I don't see that as being a positive. Everyone's doing it? Well, forget it. Let's just make it legal then. Everyone starts smoking crack on the street. I don't like it. I don't like that idea from their president. I don't think that's how you fix this. I think you fix this by doing what we do.
What if I want to smoke crack, Andrew?
Well, then do it illegally like we've been doing for the rest of the history of crack. I mean, come on. Crack is going to be there if you want it. You don't need it legalized. Same thing with marijuana. They now Newports. I know I'm getting off, but Newports.
Boy, are you gone.
Newports just announced they're bringing out a pack of marijuana cigarettes in 2017. So
good for them. Shinsuke Yamanaka.
What the hell?
Yeah, we don't talk about him, but he made the top 10 pound for pound list in this year. He had 2 wins this year. It's an honorable mention, but he beat Moreno and Laborio Solis. He's been champion and undefeated. You know what he reminds me of? He's the WBC's new Azuma Nelson.
There you go.
That's exactly what he is as a bantamweight. He is the current day WBC explanation for Azuma. Like, the WBC has to have like one of these ridiculous flyweight guys that's been undefeated forever. And I know nobody watches bantamweights but with people like Carl Frampton at the featherweight division, and we're going to talk about Roman Gonzalez, who's a super flyweight, the lightweights still heat up, and you've got a lot of guys who have been undefeated for a long period of time. Next name, Andrew. And I don't know why he is on the list. He is undefeated for 2016. It's painful to say his name. I am not a fan, but he did have a good year. Canelo Alvarez.
Saul Alvarez had an okay year. Can we name the opponents? I know one of them was.
Well, for 2016, he had Liam Smith. right?
Right.
And he had Amir Khan.
Yeah, fuck 2016. That's what I
Yeah,
was
but
thinking.
it keeps him on the pound for pound list. He's still riding the wave, right, of beating Angulo, beating Lara, beating Kirkland, beating Cotto.
Yes. No, all of that is true. But no, 2016 wasn't that good for Canelo Alvarez. I think that's why they're pushing hard for the Chavez fight. The Chavez fight brings him back into the public eye, brings him back as a good guy, because we know in Mexico everyone hates Chavez Sr., or at least a good portion of the boxing community out there. So no, they really need that Chavez fight, because anything above or under Triple G is not acceptable right now for Canelo. I mean, Canelo has a certain standard he set on his own when he said, I'm scared of nobody. I'll fight anyone right now. We can do it right now in the ring. And then literally 24 hours later gave up his fucking title. That's just, it's a great, 2016 was not good for that kid. No.
Well, fair enough. Still on the pound per pound list in 2016, which is mind blowing to me. How is Guillermo Rigondeaux still on the pound for pound list?
I have no idea.
And discussed. He had one fight at 2016 against Jazza Dickens, which wouldn't be enough to be discussed. Previous to that, he beat Francisco. He beat Amagasa, Togiagim. He hasn't had a real fight since Nonito Donaire. I mean, arguably, he hasn't had a real fight since 2013, but he's still discussed on the pound for pound list. How does Bob Arum manage to pull that off?
No. He's not even under Bob. No.
Okay, he's out of Bob's.
He's totally been blackballed. I don't know what, like I said, I've said it I don't know.
How does this guy remain on the pound for pound list?
Because we know he's one of the best, but no one will fight him. It's pathetic. Him and Lomachenko, I guess.
Right, and that's the next argument. How is Lomachenko in that discussion, right, with Rigondeaux?
I've always thought Lomachenko is overrated. I'm not saying the guy isn't skilled. He's skilled. I see it. I get it. But when you're talking about 7, 8 professional, what is he at? 8-0, Lee?
7 and
1.
5
There's
KOs.
no way you're the best in the world.
Rigondeaux is 17-0 with 11 KOs.
Right. Yeah,
and again, we're talking about the featherweight divisions, right?
Even lower. Rigondeaux.
Either way, either one of these guys, Rigondeaux, Lomachenko, and Frampton, all have to work it out in 2017. Yep. These three guys got to work it out. Go fight a round robin and determine who the best featherweight is. But I want to see these three guys become one guy. There's only one good one between the three of them. I just want to know who it is and get it over with. Now, mind you, Vasily Lomachenko cuts a lot of weight to make super featherweight. He probably will wind up going up in weight because that's where the money is. But I don't know. Lomachenko, Rigondeaux, and Frampton in 2017 need to work their stuff out. 2016, Terence Crawford is still argued pound for pound right in the middle of the pack. 30-0, 21 KOs, Andrew. His 2016 didn't hurt him. So tell me, what does it take for me to actually appreciate Terence Crawford? He beat Molina. He beat Postal. He beat Lundy. He had 3 fights in 26
fights, though, Lee. These are not fighters that make Terence Crawford a pound-for-pound guy. We're forcing him into that spot. I'm serious about this. It's time for Top Rank to put up some money and get Terence Crawford a legit contender that we can gauge his skills off of. I was thinking Mikey Garcia was going to be that fight, but Mikey decided to jump ship and go over to PBC. So I don't know where Terence is going to be left with. There's the Pacquiao rumor, obviously. I like that fight. I think Bob Arum's interested more in that fight than anything else because he needs something that's going to legitimize Terence Crawford as a superstar. The 3 names that you just said really shouldn't do that for him. Yes,
no,
he's still
and that just tells you about how weak we are, even when you're talking pound for pound. And by the way, for those of you wondering, this is the legit pound for pound list right now. And the most messed up part about talking about 2016 and the pound for pound list is the top 4. Now, you can make an argument for any 4 of them. My biggest complaint is the guy who's number 1, and we'll get to that in a minute. I'm just going to say this. Of the top 4, okay, The only thing I appreciate is the fact that Sergey Kovalev is still considered in the top 10, period. And they didn't lower his rating by any way, shape, or form after the loss to Andre Ward.